Are the popular James Bond origin stories actually true? Imagine a character who has become a symbol of espionage and style for over 60 years. Many wonder how much of his story is rooted in reality and how much is just fiction. Let's explore the true origins of the James Bond character and the stories that surround him. The core of Bond's creation is based on real experiences. Ian Fleming, the author who brought Bond to life in 1953, drew heavily from his own time in British naval intelligence during World War II. Fleming admitted that Bond was a mix of different secret agents and commandos he met during the war. He also included personal influences, like his brother Peter, who was involved in covert operations. This background gives Bond a sense of authenticity as a British spy with military skills. The name James Bond actually comes from a real person. Fleming borrowed it from an American ornithologist named Dr. James Bond, who wrote a field guide to Caribbean birds. Fleming was a birdwatcher himself and thought the name sounded plain and strong, fitting for a spy. It's a surprising fact that many don't know. The famous 00 code, like 7, has several possible origins. Some say it was inspired by the English explorer John Dee, who used 7 as a signature. Others think it relates to a Rudyard Kipling story about a number 7 engine. Fleming liked the idea that 00 agents were licensed to kill, and the number 7 was added to make the code memorable. But no one can say for sure which story is true. When it comes to the movies, the first James Bond film was called Dr. No, released in 1962. It was made on a modest budget by producers Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Saltzman. They formed Eon Productions to produce the films and bought the rights to most of Fleming's books. They initially wanted to start with a different story called Thunderball, but legal issues delayed it. So Dr. No became the first film, launching the entire franchise. Interestingly, Ian Fleming created Bond partly as a way to distract himself from wedding worries in 1952. His personal life influenced the character's development, adding a human touch to the spy. Some myths about Bond are just that, myths. For example, the idea that his 7 number is linked to secret spy routes or international dialing codes isn't true. Also, Bond was not based on a single real spy. Fleming combined traits from many sources to create a character who feels real but is entirely fictional. Looking back at the 1960s, these stories reflected the era's fascination with espionage, masculinity, and Cold War tensions. Bond became a symbol of that time's pop culture, embodying confidence, style, and adventure. The true stories behind Bond's origins, rooted in Fleming's wartime experiences and personal life, make him more than just a fictional hero. They show how a mix of real events and creative imagination built a character who has stood the test of time. So, in the end, most of the popular Bond origin stories are true, especially those about Fleming's war work, the name's real source, and how the first films started. Some details, like the 7 code, are more legend than fact, but that only adds to the mystique that has kept Bond alive for decades.